LinkedIn is its own animal in the social media world. And a lot of people don't realize that, which means they're posting content all the time that is not effective for the platform. That means it's not getting the likes, it's not getting the reach, and ultimately it's not getting them the business results they deserve, even though the content might be really good. So what I've been doing a lot lately is thinking about best practices for LinkedIn. I've been using them for myself, watching how my peers and people ahead of me on LinkedIn are formatting their posts and doing their posts. And here's a basic guide for how to create good posts on LinkedIn. I want to share with you because hopefully this will help you in your own content creation. It's nothing fancy. It's just off the top of my head, some notes I have. This is something I do every time I post. I'm thinking this way. So without further ado, let's jump in. LinkedIn posts are about giving value. They're not short and sweet like Facebook and Twitter. Think of them as like mini blog posts. And any good blog post or any good, especially LinkedIn post, is going to be even better if you start with a good hook. A hook is how you get someone's attention. So you can ask a question. That's a very common way. Did you know that? Fill in the blank, right? But here's how I generate 3 leads every week using a minimal amount of time. That's an even better hook because the here's how I hooks are really that show you have the authority to talk about that topic. Another one is 3 things no one's thinking about, or here's someone knows no one's talking about, even though they should be. So the hook is the most important part of any post. I'll drop a link at the end of this video to like some example hooks, some of which I've used. The next part, breaking your post into single lines. We read so fast now on LinkedIn. So if you have chunky paragraphs, which is the traditional way of writing, people can't scan that as easily. If you've ever seen the results from a screen reader, you will see that people read the first few words and then they move on to the next paragraph. And if they need to, they'll go back and reread in depth. But people just scan read and go, choop, 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 choop. So in order to make sure that people are reading as much of your post as possible, break up your post in the way that people actually read online now. It's going to feel weird in the beginning. It's going to feel like you're breaking all the grammar rules. But if you look at any of my content, you'll see that's exactly how I do at least 90% of my posts. And that's a best practice. If you do nothing else, break your chunky paragraphs into single lines. And the third thing is you want to make sure every post has a meaty middle. It's all about value. Like I said before, every post needs to be like a mini blog post. Nobody writes a blog post saying, look how great we are. We're so great, blah, 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 promotional, right? No, that's salesy, that's promotional. Nobody wants to read that blog post. It's not going to help you out. But people create blog posts in order to give value. What's the lesson you try to teach here? So if you're thinking of it that way, after your hook, you got to have a meaty middle. Value you're sharing. It could be a story of how you solved the problem. That's valuable. People want to know that how you solved the problem. And maybe, hey, they'll hire you to solve their problem. You could talk about some misconceptions about your industry. The point is people need to have a takeaway. It can't just be about, here's this great event we went to. So what? Maybe it's smiling faces and likes, but those kind of posts never get you leads. And I'm not saying they're bad. You should post those things. If you're going to an event and you're tagging people and this is who we met and things like that, that's fun. People want to see that. But if you want to show that you know your stuff, you got to provide that value with the meaty middle of your posts. Then another best practice is, and I don't always do this, but it's a good one, have a simple question to answer at the end. So you write your little mini blog post and at the end you say, has this been your experience? Or disagree? I'll use that one sometimes. Disagree, question mark. Try not to ask complex questions like, what do you think about this issue? You can. I've done it. Again, guys, these are really guidelines. This is guidelines, best practices. You don't have to follow everyone every time. But the idea is you're trying to make it as easy as possible for people to respond, to get them to answer. The more comments you get, higher engagement. LinkedIn algorithm is going to go, hey, this one's getting engagement. Let's show this to more people because it's a sign of quality content. Don't include any hashtags. Hashtags is old school LinkedIn. It's not relevant anymore. It does not add anything to your reach. All it does is it makes people, if they are searching for that hashtag on LinkedIn, it makes your post show up as an indexed post, but it doesn't help anything when it comes to reach. And then something that's new for me, but I'm learning from people ahead of me in the LinkedIn game, tag up to 4 people for the input. Don't tag more than 5, otherwise you start getting a hit from LinkedIn. One of those ways I've seen this done is like, here are 4 people that I really respect in this space, and here's why that I recommend you follow them, making your post more network oriented versus just you're dropping, this little note down the well and hoping a lot of people see it. Why not include a bunch of people in the post so that their networks can also chime in? And then if you've got links, this is what I see all the time. Don't put outbound links in the post. LinkedIn doesn't want anyone to leave the platform because the more people that stay on the platform, the more ads they get to serve up. And the more ads they get to serve up, the more money they make. So instead, put a little call to action at the end that says, DM me for details, or reach out to me if you have any questions, or DM me this word to get your copy of this guide or this resource I'm talking about. You can reply to them with that asset. I do this all the time now. It's a great way to generate leads on LinkedIn. I send in the PDF or the link to the asset or whatever in the DMs, and then I can keep a conversation going about their interest in that topic. And that allows me to potentially book a sales call. And then the last one is, this is really, really important. And a lot of people don't think about it this way, but LinkedIn is a networking platform. It is not a post and ghost platform. What I mean by that is, on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube, you can post and the algorithm will decide how many people should see this. Well, LinkedIn, the algorithm is intrinsically connected to how active you are on the platform. So be active on the platform with DMs, messages to other people, comments, likes, before and after you post, and the algorithm will reward your post with more reach. I know this works because last week I was out on vacation and we had a bunch of posts go live and I was not active at all on the platform. And instead of the average of 15 to 30 likes per post I was getting maybe 5, maybe 7. It was really suppressed. My reach was down in the tank because I wasn't active on the platform every day. So you just need 15 minutes, and it really doesn't even matter if it's like right at the time that you're posting. Just try to be active, a little bit before, a little bit after, even later on during the day. Just try to put some comments out there. In fact, if you want to know the best way to spend your time in order to get the most reach, I found is put comments on other people's profiles, put a little insightful comment, and then often they'll come back and they'll comment on your post and get some more reach. So it's a great 2-for-1. It doesn't just help the algorithm, but it helps other people to reciprocate and comment back on your post. So those are some best practices around how to format your posts and how to use LinkedIn to elevate the reach of your post. If that's helpful, let me know. And let me know if there's any other questions you have. Put them below and I'm happy to answer them with further content.